Howdy partners. Hot and sultry day today. Not going too far today because I've got to go to Switzerland this evening. Bank up some of my money. Get some money in my account. All the money I make on YouTube. So everything's moving into the final phase. Sweet corn's almost ready. All the plants have flowered and seeding, and it all slowly begins to wind down. Everything looking a bit messy and overgrown. Let's just have a quick look at the grapes. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sweet. Millerturgau they are. Yeah, summer's having a last burst of heat. I wouldn't call it Indian summer yet, but sultry hot. So let's hope that another war doesn't start soon, because you never know, that could be the big one. If Obama and his pals go in and just bomb it and it gets out of control, and Vlad comes in with his shield, start shooting back at the Americans, who knows what could happen. Just a little computer glitch somewhere, a misread signal, and boom, we soured the gig forever. And risking world war to save face. It's pretty stupid, I think. Now these people always, bleeding hearts, will be saying, yeah, but don't you care about all them people being gassed in the Middle East? And Assad's got to go because he's the man. Well, somebody's used chemical weapons, and it's like drugs really. They're just the users. Why don't we stamp down on the dealers? That's what I can't understand. Porton Down in Britain, a chemical research place. God knows what's in there. God knows what the mad scientists have made in there. Anthrax, everything you can think of will be stored up there. And when you look in the Middle East, they're quite sort of down to earth people, aren't they? Most of them are just shepherds and making falafels and stuff. I don't see many big armaments factories there now, unless they've been set up by the Western governments. All them guns, all them Kalashnikovs, all them mines, all them tanks, all them military vehicles, all made by us, the good guys, the Western guys, Russians, Americans, Germans and English, French, selling all the weapons, filling up these countries which have already got a real young population. I don't know, a large percent of them are under 25, and they're just flooding the whole place with weapons, make a bit of money. Now what do you expect, eh? Nothing good's going to come of it, is it? And so that makes me think about this going in to save those poor little children who got gassed. The poor little children who got gassed. When we were the bastards who sold the chemicals anyway. And that just gets in my craw. Stuck in my craw, if that's right. Is that the right phrase? I'm losing my English. Now we tried it, didn't we? We've done it in all these countries. Since we went in and dug the first oil wells, all these countries, apart from Saudi Arabia, because we're shit scared of Saudi Arabia, because they've got all the best technology, which us as idiots have sold to them. Money, big money, the biggest money, the biggest business of all. And that's the massive white elephant in the room, innit? That's the subjective blindness that the politicians have all got. The dealers in death. And maybe it's because of Iraq, because of what happened there, and all the lies about weapons of mass destruction and stuff. The people are against this strike on Syria, and let's hope that's the beginning of bringing these power-mad politicians into line a little bit. Criminal Saddam Hussein, get in there, take him out. Look at Iraq now, it's a hellhole. You get buses blown up with 100 people dead. Don't get in the news, or it gets one line somewhere. Made an absolute pig's ear of it there, and it's a hellhole. All these factions fighting against each other, when before, okay, they had a tough dictator, but he kept the place in order, kept it in line. Same with Libya, Gaddafi, nutcase, dictator. But these different rebel groups, they're all just as mad as well. And there's always going to be a top man, and he's going to have to use ruthless methods to keep the population relatively safe, to keep the place functioning. Now what happened in Libya? Another hellhole there. And all those weapons that Gaddafi had stashed away, they've all disappeared and turning up all over the Middle East now. Probably that gas that was used might have come from Gaddafi's store, who knows? Nobody knows a thing. And all these double standard hypocrisies, it's enough to make you feel sick, physically sick, or me anyway. Yeah, I wish I could believe they're all good intentions, and I wish I could put my head in the sand, but there's so much crap going on, it's unbelievable. Yeah. The red line, the thin red line has been crossed. Ranty rant rant. Vietnam, Agent Orange, rant rant rant. You know, it's a sick world, isn't it? Unless you choose to ignore it all and watch Blankety Blank and Who Wants to Be a Superstar and Britain's Got Talent. Immerse yourself in that world and forget all the troubles. But the thing is, all these countries, when they're all, if they start bombing there again, there's going to be another big wave of terrorists on the way to Western countries. Bombing undergrounds, planes, and they learn the lesson. Like sticking a big stick in a hornet's nest and stirring it round. Yeah, I don't know if it's the bleeding hearts who've causing this anyway. It's a rough world. And some countries have got to work it out for themselves. And it's about this idiotic idea of bringing democracy to these countries. Maybe I'm being politically incorrect now because I'm losing track of what's correct and what's not correct. And I think everyone is. Like, we all forget, none of us know where the red line is anymore, and we're stepping over it and falling over it and painting it over our stupid faces. I did a video about Gaddafi and a couple of years ago, just before they killed him, and I said, what's it going to be like in 2 years there? And it's a hellhole. Was it any better now than it was then? Probably not. At least the people could go to school and basic functions functioned. But to my mind, democracy is just something bigger than what we have at home. An example of a house, yeah? Family in a house. Mother, father, children. And in that house, you can have father as the big boss, and father says everything that's right, slaps mother around if she gives him any trouble, hits the kid with sticks, corporal punishment, eye for an eye, brutal. One man in charge, the woman got no say at all. That's what it's like in these Arab countries. And democracy is based on every person having his say. In a Western household, might have been 50 years ago, the man was allowed to spank his wife or correct his family how he felt fit. But those days are gone now, and everyone's got a right to say something and a right not to be attacked with violence. It still happens, but generally we're coming round to finding out that if we're violent to each other all the time, then we're in a violent world. And that violence still exists in the Middle Eastern mindset. No respect for women, cutting off people's hands, stringing people up, hanging them off lampposts. Totally normal there. And if that's normal in the house, if that's normal at home, how the hell are you going to bring in democracy from outside? It's got no basis at all. So I say just let them sort it out. They need time to sort it out. Let them sort it out, and why the hell are we going in there? What's it got to do with us? And we all know what the answer is, don't we? Oil. Money. Oil. Greed. God, I sound like a rabid priest. Yeah, it makes me worried sometimes, you know. In the old days, you always thought you were on the good side. I always think the Western European, USA, you get the feeling, always had the feeling that we were kind of the good guys, the reasonable guys, the guys you could talk with maybe. And now everyone seems to perceive that those Western guys, we're the bad boys. We're the ones dealing out all this armaments. And then there's that curious double think. Even here in this paradise world, Black Forest where I live, over 2 valleys away, that's where Heckler and Koch have got the factory. Lovely state-of-the-art factory. blends in lovely with the countryside. You hardly see it. Making all these weapons, plastic guns, God knows what they're making, and selling them to this week's friends who will be next week's enemies. And then people here say, yes, but we need the jobs. We need the jobs. How are people going to eat? Surely there's another way of getting around it, that people can manufacture something. It doesn't have to be some weapons for killing people. Most people who watch these videos are Americans, English, French, Western people. And we're all sitting on this big pile of bodies. All this money that's earned through the arms trade is massive. But we don't see that. We block that out. We've got little shutters on our eyes, and it's like homosexuality in the 1800s, 1900s, when it's the business that dare not speak its name. And all this living in denial with these blinkers on that we've got, ignoring the white elephant in the room, the white elephant that we're selling all these weapons to these, I won't say primitive people, but not as advanced as us mechanically, not as good at making machines, selling these machines which help to kill people more efficiently. And that's a part of the deal we don't look at. And that kind of denial that we've got going all the time is making us go crazy. It's making us become unstable in the head. And that's what I think I'm seeing now with people like Cameron and Obama frothing at the mouth to get shooting. Yeah, listen to me talking, and I've got to Switzerland this afternoon and tanking up with Middle Eastern oil and driving off to Switzerland, where all the dirt money is. So, like this thing about saying it's making us go mad. And I've got a guilt feeling about even that, about driving the car to Switzerland. Because that's what I'm saying, is we're all going insane because we know things are not right, but we decide to close our eyes to a lot of things. And that living in denial is not good for a healthy brain. And so that's probably the main reason why I'm having a good old rant here, for my own sanity. Because I think I've got a healthy mind. And I think the majority of people have got healthy minds. But there's some sick puppies out there. And anybody who wants to have power is one sick puppy to me. Anyway, have a great day. Are you ready, Dave? Are you ready, Holland? Are you ready, Cameron? Are you ready, Putin? Well, let's do it! Russian man, American, fighting their wars. Russian man, American, fighting what for? World War III, World War III. Cluster bomb fall from the sky, children may children died, Russian men